incredible leader in her own right, Heidi Sanborn. She's come down from Northern California. We've been partners for many years on very difficult environmental policy issues, especially focused on extended producer responsibility. One of the many, many things we've learned, and part of why this conference has gone on for so long, is because there's so many issues that this fire raised. In the days after the fire, it is scary how bad the air was throughout the entire Southland. And that's partly because each and every one of us inside our homes have a great deal of household hazardous waste. This is material that may be sitting on our shelves or in our homes in all sorts of different inert forms. And yet when burned or not properly disposed of, it ends up being incredibly dangerous. The truth is, in the immediate aftermath of the fire, we had our air had levels of lead and of about 100 times over normal levels in the air. Chlorine was at about 40% beyond normal levels. We were all breathing that in. You know, I have two little ones. I dread to think of the impact it had on them and all of us, quite frankly. And we've been working for some time on getting a bill across the finish line that will finally create a mechanism for the proper disposal and management of household hazardous waste. It's very relevant to what we just went through with the fires. It's SB 501. Please welcome to the microphone a great environmental leader, Heidi Sanborn.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Heidi Sanborn. I'm the Executive Director of the National Stewardship Action Council. We are a nonprofit organization committed to reducing waste and advancing a circular economy and holding producers responsible for the environmental and public health impacts of the products that they put into the market. Our work focuses on driving real change, and this year we are working to ensure that the toxic products in our homes, like batteries, pesticides, compressed gas cylinders, all have an end-of-life plan. We are going to be driving real systemic change through policies like passing SB 501. Senator Ben Allen is a true champion for the environment, whose policy leadership is the most effective I've seen in my 35 years doing this work. And time again, Senator Allen has led with courage and clarity, pushing for policies that not only address many of today's environmental threats, but the future threats. And his leadership on extended producer responsibility is especially important around the complex and hazardous waste streams like EV batteries and SB 615 and household hazardous waste and SB 501. California has really been a model for the nation, and he has led legislators on study trips to Canada with me for the last 7 years and other states to see how they do producer responsibility policies and how they work. He really digs in and gets to know the policies and makes sure that we do it right. And when it comes to fires, we want to prevent them, and we also want to ensure that we do not leave toxics in our homes that end up in the air and on the land and being a toxic waste problem with ash and smoke. Senator Allen has authored SB 501, and we are proud to be co-sponsors with the Regional Council of Rural Counties and the Resource Recovery Coalition of California. The Resource Recovery Coalition of California is an association of the small waste haulers who are having a really hard time with the fact that we're putting a lot of batteries and explosives into the waste stream, and their trucks are going on fire, the landfills are on fire, and the entire recycling system is at risk now because of these fires. SB 501 addresses household hazardous waste that often lacks any convenient end-of-life plan. Think about what's sitting in your garage or under your sink: butane canisters, pesticides, chemical cleaners, and pool chemicals. These products are dangerous, and when they're stockpiled, illegally dumped, or tossed into the trash or recycling, they put people, property, and our public workers at risk. They spark fires, and we've seen that a lot in garbage trucks. In fact, in Victoria a few years ago, one of our garbage trucks went on fire. The truck driver dropped the load in a parking lot, which is exactly what they're trained to do to save the $250,000 truck, and that fire raced up the hill and killed 2 people in trailer park in their homes. And recycling facilities are going on fire, and we have Chiquita Canyon landfill on fire. This exposes families to toxins and overwhelms already underfunded local household hazardous waste programs. And I do want to say that right now, LA County is spending $14 million a year on managing household hazardous waste and estimates they're only collecting 20% of it. So we have 80% sitting in homes or in trash and recycling where it shouldn't be. So we need a better system. This is about accountability. It's about making sure that products come with a plan. not just for how they're sold, but for how they're safely and responsibly managed at end of life for these toxic products. It's about letting the free market work with reduced regulation through utilizing the polluter pays principle, and in economic terms, internalizing the externalities. This is also about public health, fire prevention, about making sure that our kids, our firefighters, our first responders are not unnecessarily exposed to hazardous products that should never have been stored for years and years in a garage or discarded in the trash and the recycling in the first place. California has led on smart environmental policies before, and with passing SB 501, we will again. Thank you so much to Senator Allen for being such a leader. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. So this is giving you a little bit of a window into some of the work that's underway right now in Sacramento.